Hi, this is Jenny Brav of Radiant Wholeness Healing. And today I'll be walking you through some tapping phrases that can be helpful if you're wanting to start tapping on your own. Because one of the things that I often hear from beginning tappers is, what do I say? And the most important thing to remember is that there is no right or wrong. There's no way to mess this up, because sometimes this can also be a perfectionist thing of like, oh, I didn't say the right thing, it's not going to work. So this is not about that. It's just about increasing your options for what you can say if you're wanting to tap on your own instead of using a ready-made video. And so basically there are 4 types of sentences. The first is acceptance. So allowing yourself to be exactly where you're at and for you to be feeling whatever you're feeling. The second one is acknowledging any resistance that might be coming up or any part of you that isn't accepting where you're at and just naming that. The third is transition phrases, or basically phrases that can build a bridge between where you are and where you're wanting to go. And then the fourth is creation sentences or affirmations of what you're wanting to be feeling or new beliefs you're wanting to bring in, basically affirmations of where you would like to be. And these are not linear in truth in a session. We often cycle back and forth between one and the other. But again, it's kind of giving you a general possibility of the arc. So let's start with acceptance. And at the very beginning of a session, when we're tapping on the side of the hand, doing the setup phrase, this is naming what is. So even though X, wherever you are right now, even though I'm feeling really depressed, even though I'm so angry right now, whatever it is, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. So that's really the very first setup, is an acceptance sentence. And the idea is the best way to change is actually to accept and welcome and allow where we are right now. And when we try to fix ourselves, when we make where we are wrong, that's the best way to get really stuck and to slow down the healing process. So there's a setup phrase I just walked you through. And then when we're cycling through points at the beginning, often we're just naming the feelings. That's also a way of accepting them. So this depression, and just naming whatever you're feeling. And for me, something that I like to say is just hello or hi. So that's a way of welcoming. Other phrases, and I'm going to be referring to my little cheat sheet throughout, are, it's possible I'm still a good person, even if this never changes. I acknowledge how difficult this has been for me. It's okay that I feel this way. I'm open to seeing how far I've come. Even though I have this issue, maybe I can still love and respect myself. And so really the quality we're wanting to have here is welcoming. And so for me, part of why I say hello is that it's a going towards what is. And then anything that feels welcoming to you. So it could be, hey there, or I welcome you. That might feel too much. But again, anything that's just saying, okay, this is where I'm at. And it's a good thing to remember that acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean this is how it will always be. It's just compassion for what is. And any compassionate words can be helpful too. Even though this is hard, maybe I can bring some compassion. And the breath for me can also be really compassionate. So just saying something and breathing can be really welcoming. So the second type of sentence is resistance, or a sentence that acknowledges any part of you that might be resisting. Because often when we say we accept something, then the opposite shows up because we have multiple parts. And so naming the resistance is actually a form of acceptance as well, but it's making sure that we're not creating an internal split. So sentences for that include, I accept the part of me that doesn't accept this, or a high part of me that doesn't accept this, high resistance. Or it could just be, no, I don't accept this. I can't accept this part of me. Something that I like to say too is just giving permission. So again, in acknowledging the resistance, really, it's another way of accepting directly the parts of us that aren't okay or don't think it's safe. So giving ourselves permission not to change can really calm down the resistant parts, because the resistant parts honestly are just afraid of change, afraid of the unknown, afraid of having their safety net ripped out from under them. So saying, I can hang on to this as long as I want to, as long as I need to feel safe, can also be a helpful sentence in acknowledging the resisting parts. I don't want to look at this. You can't make me. Don't want to, can't make me is a great way of acknowledging the resistant parts. So sometimes doing a whole round of don't want to, can't make me can again really calm down the resistant parts, which are often younger parts. Another form that resistance can take is busyness. So just naming, hi, part of me that just doesn't have time for this, or I have important things to do, can also be helpful in just naming the resistance. So now the third type of sentence is transition statements. So going from here to there. And you'll notice I actually said some of the words already in the acceptance, because again, nothing is linear. And sometimes when we're accepting outright, it can bring up the resistance. So some transition sentences are, I'm open to, or I'm open to the possibility that, or sometimes naming two parts is a way of going from here to there. I acknowledge the part of me that is so scared of change. I acknowledge the part of me that really wants to let go of this. It's possible there's a different way of looking at this. I'm open to creating something different. And then knowing that safety is often one of the things that blocks us from change, like the coping strategy, whatever we've developed, having been a way to feel safe originally, and so therefore a young part not feeling safe with the idea of letting go, of moving forward, naming that, saying it's possible that it's safe to let go of this now, can be helpful. And then also, one of the things that really scares resistant parts is, and makes them more recalcitrant, is being rushed. So just allowing yourself to take it slowly. I'm giving myself permission to take as much time with this as I need. I can go slowly with this. There's no rush. The parts that are scared matter can be, again, a nice bridge. And then also allowing for the possibility that it doesn't have to be hard. It could be easier than I ever imagined. I'm open to the different parts working together rather than against each other. I'm open to forgiving myself for holding on to this so long. Again, one of the blocks I often see with clients is this idea of, oh, I should have done this 5 years ago, last year. Why is it still like this? And that's actually just a way of prolonging whatever belief or coping strategy is here. So just acknowledging that if we could have changed earlier, sooner, we would have, and that we're exactly where we need to be, can be a way of moving forward with a clean slate. So then the fourth type of sentence is an affirmation sentence or a creation sentence. So again, we've accepted where we are. We've named the resistant parts that don't want to be here, that don't want to be doing this, that don't feel safe to change. We've created a bridge from our starting point of, even though I have this, I love and accept myself, to kind of opening a window of possibility that there is something else out there. And so at the end, we're bringing in new beliefs to replace the old ones with. We're bringing in ease. We're bringing in a new way of being in the world. We're opening ourselves to what we're wanting to manifest, new emotional possibilities. So choice can be a big one with this one. So I'm choosing to let this go now is one option. I'm allowing myself to heal and to thrive. Permission, often with my clients, I've noticed that like me just giving them permission to feel whatever they're feeling can open doors, or to be free, or to be exactly as they are. So I give myself permission to let this go, to let go of the family contract, to be as big as I want to set boundaries. So that can be helpful too. I'm getting my life force back. I'm activating my superpowers. I'm the author of my own life. I'm allowing myself to evolve past this. I'm opening to whatever wants to emerge through me. I can do this. I am doing this. I'm enough. Often what we're doing here is kind of bringing in the counterpart to where we started. So let's say you started with, I'm not enough, or life is hard, or I'm small and everything is scary. Then bringing out whatever is the opposite of that can be really helpful. So it's possible that I'm exactly where I need to be, that I'm lovable. And again, it's possible as a way to open the door to the affirmation without activating the affirmations. So really saying whatever feels true to you. All right, so that was the general arc of the session and possible sentences or phrases that can be helpful. And so please let me know in the comments below how that went, what some of your favorite phrases are. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and all the information needed if you want to do a one-on-one session with me is down below. Thank you so much.